Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX, and it is time for the daily video. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and a good start of the week as well. And speaking of start of the week, it's been a little bit quiet. Markets have been really kind of sideways. We'll have just a quick little look at a few things. We can see here that the Dow is closed a little bit down, S&P is down a little bit, gold's down a bit, and oil is down a bit. So we've had a pretty much overall negative day across the board. And we've seen a little bit of dollar rally. Not a lot, but a little bit, taking advantage of some of that risk off trading that we see in the equities markets. As far as today goes, the only major worthwhile of noting news that we had was the German IFO, which came out just a little bit worse than expected, and that was several hours ago. Now coming up for the U.S. session tomorrow morning, we have consumer confidence bright and early, and that's a little bit of a mover, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then coming into Wednesday, we have some decent reports, pending home sales, a preliminary GDP, and then we've got a couple of Australian and New Zealand reports. Thursday is going to be a little bit of a quiet one. Few things, unemployment claims, and some Italian bond details. And Friday we've got Bernanke speaking. Saturday we have Draghi speaking, and that's going to be probably highly anticipated in the market, and we're probably going to see a big reaction at the open on Sunday night from that. But we should see plenty of great opportunities. What I really like when we have these low news weeks is that gives us great opportunities for some reversals and some easy little pullback trades and retracements and so on. So not typically great for big swings, but there's plenty of pips to be had in those kinds of setups. Speaking of which, we have a little bit of a range-bound euro in the works here. We did get a nice break above this 124.85. Nice little level back here. Market ran up and just topped out. Remember, we've talked a little bit about this level here. From the high of 2012 to the low of 2012, the euro has hit the 38.2% fib and has come off that pretty nicely. You can see that that's right about 25. Just almost 125.90, almost 12600, and it's off that by a good little chunk of pips, about 100 pips or so. And now it's going to be kind of what do we have coming. I'm not totally bullish or bearish on the euro at this point. I think news is going to be an important factor. A couple of things to look at. 124.85. This is a fairly important level right here. We're going to look for, again, any sign of anything that should be giving us meaningful reversals as far as candlestick patterns go, as far as just anything in general, we'll be watching for. One thing that I do want to point out is that we have the 200-day moving average rising here, and it won't be odd for the euro to kind of dip down, maybe test some of these levels. Remember, 124.40 is a very strong level, and that seems to overlap, almost overlap. The 200-day moving average is slowly peaking up above that, but a break below this 124.85 should take us into that 124.40. And give us a nice little bounce off that 200-day moving average and off of this support. This was a high for several weeks, this 124.40, and it broke and gave us a nice little run. But keep in mind, we're kind of working on a bit of a head and shoulders pattern here. It's in the works, and it's a little bit lopsided, but I think we have to pay attention to that. So again, a break of this 124.85 should take us down. Not a super large run to start. It could turn out to be a very large one, but 40 to 45 pips into that general support area, and then we'll kind of take it from there and see how markets pan out and see if we get a reversal or bounce or a continuation off of that into 123.75, which will be kind of our next big important level. Otherwise, above 125.40 is interesting as well. I will be looking for some pin bars and a couple of things to happen off of this 124.85. If we get that, then we'll look for some long opportunities into 125.40 and ultimately through 125.40 to maybe give us a big double top at this 125.90 area. So we're going to be looking at all of these levels right here. So we'll keep our eyes out for these coming up, but they should be pretty active, and breaks either way will not be too difficult to happen. I sent out the screenshot of this earlier today, looking for a break of 158.00, 158.00 being a nice little level to start getting some short entries on the pound dollar, but likewise as I mentioned, looking for entries off of that 15800 and possible bounces, possible breaks. We have a couple of things. Keep in mind that the pound dollar ran all the way down here and then chopped its way on up to the 61.8, and it has come straight off the 61.8, no holds barred, just straight down from there. And we'll see how much support it finds. Remember that we've got a lot of support around 157.50, and so we're just right around that. We're just 50 pips or so away from that. So I'm looking for some pretty good support at that 157.50 and a very likely bounce from that. But right now markets are so quiet. There's just not much activity either way. I like long opportunities on the pound dollar above 158.30. 158.30 back into some of these highs I think are good opportunities. Otherwise, we will probably see it trickle below this 15800 into 157.50. So keep an eye on that. Euro yen is quite choppy, so I'm kind of watching at this point about the 98.80 area. See if we can get above that. We might have something interesting. Otherwise, this pair looks pretty bearish still. Aussie dollar, looking at Aussie dollar, we've got some support, some short-term support here. Kind of the only thing I really wanted to point out on the Aussie dollar was if we look at the daily chart, and the run from this low here that was right about June 1st into the high, which was about middle of August, give or take. We had a nice channel in there, very nice little channel. We broke out of that channel, bounced right back up, and now we're very, very cleanly outside of that channel and getting below some of this main support here at the 10400 was important, and so now we're just a few pips below that, not a ton. But here's the significant thing that I wanted to point out. We are sitting on the 23% fib level. Not that important, but what is important is remember that once the 23% fib breaks, we have a very, 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 very high likelihood of it reaching all the way to the 38% fib, and that's just the 23 to the 38 kind of relationship that those two have. So keep a very close eye on that, and that's something I'll definitely be keeping an eye on, looking for a little bit of retracement or some opens below this this 23% fib to short into that area down there of the 38% fib. So keep an eye on that. Gold is kind of channeled here. We have this nice little support here. It's about 1662, and resistance it's about 1675. So still looking for gold to break and continue higher, but we'll watch for a break lower and we'll see where things go from there. And then we've just got a couple of other setups on the rest of these, but things are I think focus should definitely be put on euro dollar, pound dollar, and probably the Aussie in the coming several hours. I think those have the best setup. So I'll have more tweets coming out, more information about that, but I think those are going to give us some really nice trades over the next kind of 12 to 24 hours. So best of luck, guys. I'll see you all in the chat, and keep an eye on Twitter. Thanks, everyone.